This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I got a returning guest, and he was on my show back in May 29th. We're talking no other than BioLargo. And if you remember, if you followed my show back in 2016, they had a product that wasn't quite commercialized. It is their flagship product, Cupridione Clean. 2016, very little revenues. 2017, they ended up doing about $516,000 in revenues. Well, they just came out with their second quarter report, and then that 90 days, they did $326,000 in revenue. They've got a run rate going for $1 million for 2018. You can find them on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol BLGO. And with us today to talk about his exciting, explosive company is no other than the CEO, Dennis Calvert. Dennis, welcome back to the show.
Everett, it's so good to be back. Thank you.
You know, one thing I like about your company and I like about you and management over there, you had a plan. You executed the plan, and you know that you need more and more soldiers and people on the street to get out your flagship product. That being said, congratulations on your sales for the second quarter. I know that you guys are gearing up for a first industry-wide adoption, but my question is how are we going to keep the momentum running?
Right on. That's the million-dollar question. You know, we're so excited about this product and what the company, Odor-No-More, right, one of our portfolio companies, is doing. As you said, we started that product in May of 2016. Within about the first year, we got a couple of national contracts with big players. You'll notice in our most recent quarterly report, we've increased that number to 4 big national players, okay? And when we first wrote the business plan, we knew one thing, and that was that number one, the product would be the number one performer. We knew that. We knew it, okay? We also knew that we had to really bundle a whole bunch more tools and resources to make this available for an industry-wide adoption. So pricing, contract, a service component, even the design, build, and construct component for equipment that makes the product available, which we just added, a quarter and a half ago. And then this quarter, we also announced that we'd increased our maintenance and service components to serve these clients. What's happened over the last 6 months is we've gotten momentum. Momentum means that these very large national accounts are adopting this product on a systematic, region-by-region basis. We think that's fully scalable. In the quarterly report we just published just a day ago, we announced that we've gotten 6 additional regions set up for adoption. Okay, 6 regions. Now listen, this is a small company. That's a lot of work. And one of the things I want to remind people is, we're really out to serve a national market. And it's going to take an army of people, right?
Right.
So our small company is now serving these very large national accounts with number one performer, value pricing, unparalleled service, a full engineering complement, and the clients love it. And what it really shows is that this has been a market where the customers didn't know there was a solution. Now they do have a solution. It's affordable, and they've got a company like ours willing to really just kill ourselves to make sure they're happy, right? And so as a result of earning that trust with a little, we're now being trusted with a lot. And we're proud of our numbers, but I got to tell you, I think we've just scratched the surface. The future is so bright for this product.
Well, that being said, we've got one product in the hopper. We've got 2 kind of in the incubator. Can you give my listeners maybe a 2 or 3 minute update of where we at and maybe when some of those revenues can, catch up to Cupridione and fall on the balance sheet?
Yeah, right on. So remember, the company is a technology incubator, right?
Absolutely.
We've been building world-class technology. We focus on things we believe are disruptive, right? Disruptive means capable of changing the way things are done in an industry.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So they're innovation, one of a kind. I can't even emphasize it enough. This is one of a kind assets that now require execution in the marketplace, service, deployment, all these things that make it work. All right. The odor business is our first big commercial success. It's unfolding right before us. A couple of things. Number one, I think it validates the strategy for all of our assets. What we're experiencing here, which is now heading into this hockey stick growth, okay, is the same curve that we're going to face with these other assets. We've got too much invested. We know these technologies have a chance to really change the way the game is played. Okay, so we got 2 commercial divisions. The second one is the engineering group. Same thing. The engineering group is a team of people that I believe in many ways could do just about anything. These guys, the senior officer there, Randall Moore, is 35 years in the field.
And that's down in Tennessee, right?
That's right. That's in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, a suburb of Knoxville. Got a team of people that have been in the industry for careers. They have exceptional backgrounds and knowledge. They're also innovators in their own right. They brought in a couple of really key accounts, heading to positive cash flow. Frankly, one of our customers that we've actually engaged and begun work with is on a very rapid growth track. And assuming their growth continues the way they project, that account alone would require that we probably double or triple our staff to accommodate the business. It's such big business, right? And so it's taken some time, right? So it's not easy, but that group is really finding its stride, and they've signed up about 4 or 5 really nice accounts in the last quarter, and so they're headed towards positive cash flow, okay? Then we got 2 in the incubator, right? So
right.
That's the medical and the water. Okay, so the medical, we really love this asset. I mean, this invention, this innovation, one-of-a-kind thing, has got a chance to disrupt a massive, multi-billion-dollar market in the United States and globally. But we're in the FDA process. Okay. And, that process is one that is incredibly unpredictable. And so our position is we've got a menu of probably 25 products. We've got the talent to do it. We've got exceptionally highly qualified people organizing and running that business. And so we're going to find our way through the FDA and get that product launched. And we're in cycle now with another 510K application, which should come to fruition in the next couple of months. And, say a prayer. We got a good shot to get through the FDA and get that product to market. And if for any reason we get delayed, we'll be back at it to make sure we find our way through.
So let me interject for a second. I know you guys are working on patents. Are those provisional patents or utility patents that you guys have?
We've got an entire portfolio, okay? We've got like 18 patents issued and 5 or 6 pending. They're all platform in nature. And so we have some that are processed, some that are compositional, and it's a whole menu, Everett. I mean, and it's a robust estate. So we're pretty well armed up in the patent estate area.
Last time we were on the show, it's no, undiscovery that you want to move up to the NASDAQ. You mentioned it many times on my show. Where are we at in the process of that, and when do you think that could happen?
Well, we are in process. In fact, we made an announcement in the queue that we made application, right? And we think it's a really critical strategic decision, right? The OTC has become a really tough place for companies to operate.
Yes.
Most institutions are not able to purchase the stock in BioLargo. And of course, the company quality has to be there too, right? I mean, we have to convince the world that our financial future is bright and that we're executing on a very predictable path towards commercial success. We're doing that, okay? And at this stage, early institutions really would like to be involved because the platform of our business is so great. Most can't. Okay, so that's a big problem. The other is that on the retail side, retail investors are required to sign these waivers. I mean, they can't even go to their broker and make a purchase. They have a burdensome paperwork requirement that pretty much makes it hard for new investors to find and participate in the ownership of our stock. So those reasons, plus the paperwork for new accounts, when you bring shares from a penny stock or a small micro-cap stock like an OTC, these brokers just don't want to handle it. It's not worth it to them. They don't make enough money to then handle the regulatory burden of paperwork. So there's a whole series of reasons, right? Those are the problems. The good news is that if you can get your company listed on a national exchange like NASDAQ, those barriers go away. Plus, you get a chance to improve your coverage. You participate in an index, right? So you have this sort of big market status. Also, of course, the regulatory compliance is higher, so investors can trust, right? Have that increased quality perception about your company. So we think overall it's a great strategy. Now, there's things that have to happen to make sure we're ready. And what we want to really communicate to our shareholders is with the volume of success that we're achieving, which is small, but with the opportunity, which is massive, okay, I mean massive opportunity unfolding right before us for this company, it's critical that we raise the bar, that we create a national market, and we really capture all the tools that will afford us to properly capitalize, to properly execute, to really have the engine running that can fuel the kind of growth we're talking about. Because we're talking about really significant growth right in front of us.
So on your stock wise, you're at 28 cents. I believe it's mandatory. Your stock has to be over $1 a share to be listed on the NASDAQ. Is that correct?
Well, let me help you with that. No, the minimum listing requirements for a NASDAQ capital markets listing, which is where we would qualify, that's actually a $4 stock, right? And a $5 million net shareholder equity. $5 million net shareholder equity. So our goal from here to there, right, before we pull the trigger on that kind of decision, is to make sure, number one, that the marketplace has a chance to absorb the fundamentals of the company. You know, let's talk like Clyra, right? You know, Clyra is really hard for people to get their heads around. It really is. It's great technology. We know it's a winner. We love it. We know it's got a chance to impact the world for good. But until you get that FDA approval, it's just not even in the game.
Yeah.
Okay? So what we want to do is be ready, right? We want to be ready with those tools as these milestones click off so that we can take advantage of the significance of the opportunities that are unfolding before us. And by the way, same thing for the water. You know, we didn't even talk about it. But we've got over $4 million in grants in process. $4 million. And we got a couple that are with showcase applications. And so again, if we're in an OTC, thinly traded market with high volatility, with an up-and-coming venture stage company, right? Because that's really what we are, a venture stage company emerging into positive cash flow with global significant opportunities with one-of-a-kind technology platforms. We want that national platform of an exchange and the tools that offers for our shareholders and for the company.
You definitely said a lot. You said it all today. In closing, I would like for you to close up. If somebody's listening to, you're interviewed right now, why should they go out and purchase your stock real close? And if you can give us about 20 seconds, because we're kind of running out of time.
Sure, no problem. The company has endured a development cycle based on technology and built a series of technical platforms. Platforms meaning multiple product opportunities in multiple industries. We own the intellectual property. We found our first winner. We got 2 in the incubator that are global in scope. We've shown that we're diligent, committed. We're building a company of value. I think it's just the best time in the history of the company.
If you're looking for a science technology company that's up and coming, take a look at BioLargo. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol BLGO. Dennis, it's always a great pleasure to have you on my show. Hopefully you'll come back on in 40 days.
Thank you very much.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.